Welcome back, everyone. My name is Ember, and today we are continuing our One Piece journey with Volume 28. We are getting deep into Skypiea at this point. This covers chapters 256 to 264. So this starts with the flashback between the Shandian chief and, I forgot what his name is, Wiper. I think that's what his name is, Wiper. And a conversation between him and Ganfor in a flashback. And it goes all the way up through... Where does this end? It starts with Eneru finally joining the fight. Not a whole lot to talk about this time. Just a lot more... This one's another just all fights kind of volume. Just all fights. Like, I don't want to say the fights are uninteresting. They're really fun. It's just they are definitely the least interesting part of One Piece for me. I am very much more invested in the story and the characterization at this point. I mean, there is some interesting characterization through fights, which we will get to, but most of these were just pretty straightforward fights. Like, Zoro's fight was pretty straightforward. He had to face the guy who had the pistols that made a huge flash of light, so he just had to get around that, and his solution to that was just swing his swords harder. Luffy faced off with Wiper at one point, has that fucking... Oh, I just skipped past it. Where is it? I think it's Wiper. He has that fucking cannon that just shoot... It's basically a fucking laser. Like, it's supposed to be like some kind of like fire cannon or something, but it's basically a fucking laser. That was really cool. So that was interesting. I don't really quite understand how Luffy beats him, because it looks like Luffy is just fully in the blast at this point. He just takes it head on. Maybe he avoided it, but he comes out charred on the other end. So I guess he just jumped into it. Yeah, and then he just beats the shit out of Wiper. And I think that's who he's fighting. I'm losing track of names again. I will say, I think Chopper's fight was probably my favorite in this so far. He faces off against this dude with the freaky hair. And I think just the momentum of it was what was really carrying it for me. Oh yeah, Geratsu. That's what his name is. Yeah, I think just this particular fight just had a really good flow to it. Although I will say Geratsu is a fucking idiot, to put it lightly. But I'm really digging Chopper's like fighting style and techniques. In particular, like his little his brain point like lock on kind of stuff. I think that's kind of cool. But just his powers remind me a lot of Luffy's, but in a less elastic kind of way, and just more of a transformative kind of way. He has so many different forms that he can fight with, and that makes it pretty fun. And then he has his nice little ground pound moment at the very end. So, yeah. Yes. Although I will say there was a point in this... Yeah, it's right here, where he's like... He's having like an inner monologue about how he says, no one relies on me, and it's time I stepped up. And I'm like, no, they rely on you quite a lot, Chopper. So... I guess maybe that's just his insecurities working their way into the fight, because emotionally Chopper is a fucking wreck, like, nonstop. So, they're like, yeah, they do rely on you, Chopper. They really do. Both in combat and as a doctor, and as a crewmate. So... But yeah, that was probably my favorite fight from this. Nami has her fight with the twins. Ganfor teaches her how to use the fucking... impact dial. Almost blows her fucking arm off. And Robin has her fight with the giant dude. Can't even remember what his name is. Oh yeah, we got a nice little... I keep forgetting that there's a glossary of characters that I can just look at. Of course, the character that I'm looking for isn't even on here. So, oh, nope. There you... Nope. Nope, that's not him. Yama. That's what... Of course. His name means fucking mountain, and he's a giant man. Of course. But, yeah, so... That was a good one. Eneru comes out. We get a little bit more... Now, I actually... we get a peek at some of his powers. He hasn't explicitly said what they are yet, aside from it's lightning. And so now I'm like... I realized I can use these videos to sort of like theory craft in my head, even though the answer is already out there. It's been out here for like 15 years already. But... but so... And I, like, when I was... the other day, I ended up on the wiki for a bit because I was confused for a bit. They kept referring to Chopper as a Zoan type. I'm like, what the... I know this is... They've said this already, but what the fuck does this mean? So I went on there and I looked like, oh, it's different devil fruit types. So there's, like, the Paramecia, which is, like, just different superpowers, basically. There's the Zoan type, which is, like, transforming into animals and stuff. And then there's the Logia types, which is, like, you can turn your body into different elements. And so now I'm thinking, like, okay, so is Eneru like a Logia type devil fruit person where his body can become lightning? Or maybe it's like storm centric since they're in the sky. So the wheels are turning on this, and I don't really do a lot of theory crafting. Like, usually I just let the story happen. And whatever comes at me is what happens. I don't do a lot of, like, thinking about future events in the moment because I'm so fixated on what's happening in the moment. Which is, I think, is one of the reasons why twists always catch me off guard, because I'm not really reading into too much. I can always look back and see, well, yeah, all the stuff was there, but I don't do a lot of theory crafting in the moment. And I guess that's why a lot of, like, plot twists always come out of the blue for me. Or not out of the blue, but a lot of plot twists just have some really strong impact on me. But yeah, this chapter was mostly fights. Very interesting. In this flashback, the flashback was pretty okay. It's setting up the divide between the Shandians and Ganfor as the kami of Skypiea. I don't remember what page it was on, but there was one, like, kinda dark moment where it's like, I guess all the Skypiea people have different mantras and stuff, and that little girl, Aisa, I think, apparently she can, like, hear people's voices from far off. I guess it's like a mind projection kind of power. And she's talking about... And at one point she mentions that, like, 20 people have just stopped talking. I'm like, fuck, that got dark. This little girl just listening as people are dying off in the distance. So, yeah, that was a little... not a little. That was extremely traumatic for her. Yeah, Oda just... You don't expect the dark moments. It's all with Oda so far. I've noticed it's always in the details where the really dark shit comes out. So, yeah, that hit me pretty hard. I think that's really all I have to say. Looking forward to when Luffy will probably eventually have his big punch up with Eneru. 'Cause this dude is a fucking prick. Just a arrogant asshole. Oh yeah, I also realized after they revealed he had lightning powers, I'm like, oh no fucking shit, he has lightning powers. He has the fucking drum things around his body. Like I think the Japanese god is Raijin. I think I don't remember what it is, but it's like a Japanese god of thunder. He has like those little taiko drums around him with that symbol on it. So I'm like, oh, I should have fucking realized that. And again, I'm not good at theory crafting in the moment. I'm so fixated on a bunch of other details. But that's about it for this volume. I'm going to volume 29 tomorrow. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment and all that other jazz. My name is Ember, and I'll see you next time.